Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. I tell you. How are you this evening? Tell me about your day. Tell me about your Wednesday. What are you grateful for, people? Tell me what you are grateful for. It is Wednesday. It is Hump Day. Hump Day. We are a little more than halfway through February already. We are just cruising along here. Tell me about your world and what is happening in it. That is what I want to know. That is what I want to know. I want to know what is happening. Hey, Adele and Dazzle are here. Dazzle and the Pets of Resale. It is treat time. Treat time, I tell you. It is great to have you here. Hey, Kitty, how are you? Oh, a big snowstorm coming tomorrow. I hope you're not sending it my way after you're done. I'm sorry about that, but it is February, and it still snows. Tomorrow, Kitty, you should use your texting program when it snows and send out a text code SNOW to save on your website. Send people to your website tomorrow. Hey, Kelly, it is great to have you here live tonight from Albuquerque. We're supposed to get the end of this week like 50s, but it wouldn't surprise me if right after the 50s we got walloped with a lot of snow. Actually, next week is school vacation week here, and we always get a snowstorm during school vacation week. So there you go. It's almost 50 today. We're getting the 50 first. So I couldn't believe when I was outside of DC the other day, it was 60 something, 66, 67 in my car. I love that. I love that your texting program brings people in. That brings a smile to my face and to your wallet. That makes the cash register sing. Sing, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I love it. I love how you use that and hearing about it. So that is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. We are broadcasting on both Facebook and YouTube tonight. Any problems with Facebook, hop right on over to YouTube. Cassandra threw the link there for you in the show comments. But I am glad people are shopping. People have been out. We're going to talk about that. I have so many things. With only broadcasting 2 nights a week, and I know you ladies know that, it's been hard to decide what to talk. I mean, I have so much that I could talk about at any given time. One of my consults was like, Neil talked for 12 hours straight today. I mean, he just talked and talked and talked. I mean, it's my mother's fault. They always blame the mother, but it is, I can, you get me going on a topic and I can just go and go and go. Go and go and go. Well, tonight, let's get started with our Stay Positive book, and we will go there. Tonight, we're on page 24. I love this. Don't focus on winning championships. Focus on developing champions. When you commit to something bigger than yourself, you rise to a level much higher than yourself. I love it. I appreciate that, Kitty. I appreciate that. I am working on ways to consolidate what I'm trying to teach and help with and everything else. So I am working on that. High of 78 tomorrow. High of 78. Well, just before coming on, we did book not for me. We booked a girls' weekend, or I don't even know what days they're going. Cassandra and Rebecca are doing a Disney trip in March, so I don't know what days they're going, but they're going. So it'll be warmer. It'll be warmer in March in Orlando. So, always plan for the fact that no plan ever goes according to plan. I like that. Our quote from Simon tonight. I have so many things going on here. I wanted to give you a strange factoid. I bet you Adele knows this. I bet you Adele knows this fact, but it caught me off guard yesterday. I bet you Adele actually knows this, and that's just because of where Adele is located. But did you know that the Ambassador Bridge, right off the rails, yes, you are pretty good at sidetracking me. Did you know that the Ambassador Bridge, that the bridge from Michigan to Canada, okay, which I've been across many times, is and has been in the news a lot lately because of the Canadian truckers that have blockaded it and everything else, and all the commercial traffic that goes across that. Did you guys know that that is privately owned? That bridge is privately owned. It is not owned by the U.S. It is not owned by Canada. It's owned by this company. And up until 2020, when this guy died, it was really controlled by one billionaire, Manuel Marone, and until his death in July of 2020. He was the owner of the Detroit International Bridge Company and the Canadian Transit Company of Canada, and he owned all the stock of that. I figured you knew that, Adele. Because he lives there in Grosse Pointe. He lived there in Grosse Pointe on your side of the bridge. But I was just like, you expect to hear about, I've heard of bridges, privately owned bridges in small towns, in backwood areas and things like that. You don't think about a privately owned bridge that is controlling international commerce. 25% of all the commerce between the U.S. and Canada travels across that bridge. And I just found that an interesting trivia question. Sorry, that was not a real trivia question for you, Adele. But I figured when I heard that, I was like, I had to read more about it and how that came to be, because I found that so fascinating, how he did that. And one of his big scams in that is not the bridge itself, but it's the duty-free shops with the gasoline. And he's able to charge regular price for gasoline, or a couple cents lower for gasoline on the bridge, on the ends of the bridge, but not have to pay it in state and federal taxes which is really where he's made most of his money in that. In the time of owning the bridge. It's just it's one of those weird, interesting commerce facts. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, I have a bunch, but one of the things I wanted to talk about was with sales. We're halfway through February, and depending on where you are, some people have had some more weather this February, some people have had less. Some people have had less big sales, and they've been a little concerned. And one of the things that I wanted to remind people about is this time last year, if you're comparing against last year's numbers, you had all this stimulus money that was hitting last February. So you had all this stimulus money pumping out into the economy at this point last year. And that was a driver of sales. Now, and so I just want you to have that, don't freak out if you're a little off and everything else. But I did want to stick that reminder for you of some of the money that was out there last February, March, that isn't out there this spring, January, February. So, there was a lot more stimulus in March, and you had the tax refunds and everything else. So, and people are going to have smaller tax refunds this year because of the child tax credit. and they got that July through December, they got half of their child tax credit in advance. So people that are used to a big tax refund, they have lots of kids or something, aren't going to be getting that. They'll still be getting in most cases a refund, but not as big. And a lot of times that's going to affect furniture stores, electronics, and quite honestly, vacation spots. It's going to affect Disney more than it's going to affect the average store, because people come in and spend on regular everyday things, then splurge on one purchase. So, when they have lots of excess, what tends to happen is they splurge on one purchase. Is a traditional tax refund thing. Whereas this year, it will, you may not have that same bump because of the way that the money is hitting. I still think and I still advocate for Congress to change the way and go back to giving the tax credit monthly and making monthly deposits to people, because I think that really changed people's lives. I really think that made a positive impact, and they spent it on things they actually need throughout the year versus that big one lump purchase. Retail sales were up in January, 3.8%, and well ahead of the estimate. And you had a small decline in December, which they like to talk about, but part of that is because people shopped early. The consumer was active across all aspects. Online saw gains, furniture, but that's because people were home with Omicron. Furniture and home furnishing sales increased 7.2%. So there was broad-based across the board. Sporting goods, music, and bookstores fell 3%. But overall, the overall numbers are good on retail sales. There. Where is my? I had a really good sheet that I wanted to talk about. Let me just find that. Did I print that over here? Hang on one second. I had it on the computer still. I didn't actually print it yet, so it's coming up. A record in January, though, 50% of U.S. small businesses raised wages in January to lure workers. And this isn't a big surprise. The cost of wages, the cost of pay is going up, and that's just a reality. But what I am finding is, in general, there are better workers. Okay, you can attract a better worker who will accomplish more, so you're getting more done with less hours. So it is a combination, but the cost of labor as a part of your business is going up, and that needs to be factored in. I've talked to a lot of stores lately about price increases, and wherever they're getting it, whether you're raising the base price of items, whether you're increasing your item fees, your buyer's fees, your costs of doing a business are going up and going up dramatically, especially with wages. So you have to keep that in mind with your pricing. There's my glasses. I'm like, where do my glasses go? One of the big areas, and we talked about this a little bit the other night, that is, we talked about it from another perspective, but fragrance sales in the U.S. are going through the roof. Hey, Florida Angie, great to have you here. and scent has been a standout category lately. Fragrance sales in the U.S. Hit 954 million, just under $1 billion in the first quarter of 2021, which was a 35% jump from 2019. And recent earnings from Coty and L'Oreal, are showing no stop in the beauty category. So, that is a real area. Hey, Kath, great to have you here live. So, we talked about selling used cosmetics, selling, unwanted perfume is a great way. It is really a growing category, a huge growing category. So don't snub it. Don't snub it. Louis Vuitton, our friends at Louis Vuitton, factory employees in France have organized a walkout to push for higher pay. So and against changing schedules. So fixed work schedules they're going for, and higher pay. One of the things we will talk about in an upcoming over the next several weeks is the potential for a 4-day work week. How do you schedule a full-time employee over 4 days to increase their satisfaction, to increase their job satisfaction, and do it? I'm not going to delve into that whole metric and math tonight, but it is something we are going to talk about in the coming weeks, because it is something that is starting to take shape in the work from home movement. And it really has some great potential in retail, and especially what sets you apart from every other job in retail. And it's not just not coming home smelling like fries and a burger. Okay. You can really set yourself apart by offering not only flexibility, not only a great non-hostile work environment, but a more competitive schedule. And we're going to talk about that. On this day in 1903, well, actually it was yesterday in 1903, toy store owner and inventor Morris Mitchum placed 2 stuffed bears in his shop window, advertising them as teddy bears named for President Theodore Roosevelt. And thus the teddy bear was born in 1903. Little known facts. Does anybody know, this I do want to talk about tonight. Does anybody know what the hottest new class is at Harvard Business School? Does anybody know what the hottest new class is at Harvard Business School? Any guesses for that? I know it's on the spot trivia here for you. Any guesses what the hottest new class would be at Harvard Business School? If you were going to Harvard Business School, what would you want to learn in today's day and age? In 2022, what will go down as the most sought after class at Harvard Business School? Something with Bitcoin. That's a good guess. Gaming. These are good guess. Hey, you former 911 operator that told you how to adapt and respond. Angie comes up with today is the first call to 911 in 1968. Supply chain, cryptocurrency. Those are great guesses, guys. Those are great guesses. The hot class that everybody is trying to get into at Harvard Business School, economic, financial side of business. No, the hot class is how to be happy at work. How to be happy at work. And that sounds like such a basic thing, okay? Like how to be happy at work. Like having a class on that. And it really got me thinking. When I first heard that, I laughed. Okay, I am all about truth here. When I first heard that, I'm like, you're going to Harvard Business School and you're going to take a class on how to be happy? And I laughed. Okay, I'm like, all these smarty pants with too much money to go to Harvard, and I laughed at that. But then I thought about it for a while, and I reflected on all my travel lately. And I have been, you've seen me. I've been from one end of the country to the other. And this week was a quiet week. I've only been in New Hampshire this week. One of my employees kept on saying hi to me because they're like, I haven't seen you in so long, when I actually stopped by one of my locations. The psychology of happiness. I love it, Kelly. Okay. I love it. Well, it is a big part of my visits. When I'm working one-on-one with a store, happiness becomes a big part of the visit. It is an integral part of a one-on-one visit with a store. It is, where is your happy place? You don't have to be unhappy at work. I mean, it's the American institution that we create this idea that you go to work 40 hours a week, punching a clock at a job you don't like, so you can retire and then drop dead. Okay, that is the have a couple of years of retirement and drop dead. Okay, you can and should be happy doing what you do. I watched an old interview, okay, with Steve Jobs of Apple fame recently. And he talked about in the interview, every day looking at himself in the mirror. So every day he would look himself in the mirror and ask himself this question: would I be happy with myself if I died today doing what I'm doing? Would I be happy doing what I'm doing today if I died today? If this was the last thing I was doing, would I be happy? And that was a question he asked himself every day. And, part of it sounds like a little off the cuff or a little hopey-dopey, but he would ask himself that question every day. And he was very realistic in the interview that there are times that all of us in our lives, in our work, in our personal lives, we have to do things that we're not particularly excited about or doesn't get all our juices flowing. And he wasn't focused on that, but he was realistic about that. He was very realistic about that. That is, can't avoid that. Okay, you can't be so hopey-dopey happy. Can't have a day that's something perfect. Okay, that you go through life with all your days being perfectly happy. So he but he did say, what he did say is that if I have to answer that question no to myself too many days in a row, if I'm answering that question no when I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm sitting here looking at myself with you guys right now, so I'm looking at the camera, looking at me. If I have to say no to that too many days in a row, I have to look in the mirror and say, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to change so that I'm not answering the question that way? And I take that to heart. I take that to heart because you should be happy doing what you're doing. You should be happy in your store. You should be happy most of the time, overwhelmingly most of the time, in what you do and in the business you create. Okay, and if it's dragging everything out of you, what do we need to change in that? What do you need to change in your business so that you are happy? And that's not an impossible question. Okay, it starts with drawing a picture of what happy is. What makes you happy? What makes you shine? What makes you sparkle in your store? Okay. Yes, there's stuff that has to get done that might not make you sparkle. But when you sparkle, okay, when you shine, when you have the cape on and you're just like, woo, loving it, Okay, what is it that makes you brings out the happy? What starts the party? What brings out the dancing ball, the crystal ball, and gets you dancing in your store? What makes that vote of happiness? Where is your happy place? We've talked so much on this program about how your store is the happy place for so many. It should be the happy place for you too. It should bring you joy. It should bring out your sparkle. Okay, your inner glitter. Your inner glitter? That's a thing. It's a thing. Don't drink glitter. Don't drink glitter. Your inner glitter, okay? It should be oozing out of you, okay? Pouring out. And sometimes we have to go back and find that. And that's what Steve Jobs was saying when he had too many days in a row where he wasn't going to be happy if today was his last day. Okay, doing what he was doing. He had to go back and find his inner sparkle, his glitter, his source of happiness in what he is doing. And we have to find that as business owners. And you tend to lose that over time. You lose that new store, that new, it's all new and shiny enthusiasm. But you have to dream like a kid. You have to look at your business like that. And you have to know that it's okay to be happy. You don't need the Harvard Business School class on this. You don't have to go to Harvard, okay, to be happy. Okay, and typically it's not about money. Money is one aspect of all our businesses, but it's not letting your business run you. It's remembering that you own your business. And your business is there to drive your happiness and get you to where you want to be in life. It doesn't have to be all you, but don't lose track of your happiness. And I don't want you to be unhappy. I want you to find your happiness like your customers come to you to find their happy place in your store. So think about that. Digest that a little bit, because there's a lot in that. There's a lot in that with happiness, and you do all this, deserve to be happy. So Rose is might install her own private cappuccino machine, snack bar, wine bar, foot massager, comfy recliner, and cushioned toilet seat in the store tomorrow. Seriously, I'm okay with that, Rose. If that brings your happy out, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. I am okay with that. I mean, you've heard my story before about why I drink scotch. Although tonight I have bourbon in there. I have an old fashioned going tonight, because I'm getting old. But in the I started drinking scotch because of my dear old Aunt Sarah, my great Aunt Sarah. She was my great aunt, my father's aunt, and she was always the happiest woman in the world. And no one knew what she drank, but she drank the scotch at night. We found that in her house, throughout her house, when she passed. But it's okay to be happy and to do the things and have the things surrounding you that make you happy. Part of our year of happiness I've covered. That's why we have our year of magic at Disney. Why we're doing that and taking the time to do that. We have, I said at the beginning, Sandra and Rebecca have a trip planned in March, and we're doing Rebecca's birthday in April. That'll be 5 trips since November to Disney. Which is crazy on the surface, but it brings us happy. We work hard. We want to be happy. And it is okay to enjoy life. It is okay to enjoy your business. It is okay to enjoy your coworkers. It is okay to be happy. And as we enter year 3 of this pandemic, really moving to endemic, it is okay to be happy. It is okay to be happy. And find your happy place and make each day your happy place. I have coffee machines in all my locations, even when the economics of it way back when didn't make sense, Rose. I have fancy coffee machines. I mean, I'm going way back when we put those in. And the coffee machine guy told me I was crazy to spend that kind of money. But it brought him happiness. It brought me happiness. It brought people, made people happy. So that's okay. That's okay. You know what else brings out the happy? This video and everything I talk about, or at least I hope so. I hope it brings out the happy. Sometimes I might make you sad with some of the topics I have to cover. But this video and everything I talk about goes over to nerds.org/resale strong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you. All the files, all the links, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell, ring that bell so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can let everybody, help everybody be better at business and be better at being happy. I am here every Sunday and Wednesday at More 8 Than Ish, More 8 Than Ish, live in the Nards private Facebook group and streaming on YouTube. But if you have a question in between, just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with our new book for 2022, Stay Positive. Stay Positive. That's where we're at. Tonight we're on page 24. Don't focus on winning championships. Focus on developing champions. When you commit to something bigger than yourself, you rise to a level much higher than yourself. Encourage instead of compete. Many couples seem to be competitive rather than encouraging and supporting each other. Instead of being one team, they act like two separate teams and get jealous if their spouse is enjoying success. To have a great relationship, you have to be one team who supports and encourages each other. When you support and advocate for each other, you grow as individuals and also strengthen your team. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a happiness party. Bring out your inner sparkle. Sparkle! We will party again. We will sparkle again. And when we do, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until Sunday at More 8 Than Ish, know that you, and you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you on Sunday. It's time for dinner.